Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Factory podcast. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Factory podcast. I'm your host, Priest, joined by my co-host, my brother, the one and only Phoenix. Say what's up to the camera.
What's up, y'all?
This is called the Burn Factory for a reason. I was literally caught on fire. 50% chance to survive, but through that started this podcast because I believe every single person out there on this planet goes through a burn moment somewhere in their life.
You heard Priest say a burn moment. So a burn moment is a super hard time in your life that you have to fight and overcome. And me and Priest believe that every single person on this earth go through burn moments that truly make them who they are. But what an amazing guest we have today, Priest. Our guest has truly lived a life of up and downs, but is now one of the UFC's biggest prospects. He is currently the number 9 ranked UFC lightweight in the world and has many championship fights on his horizon.
So please give a warm welcome to Jalin Turner. Woo!
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Jalin.
Thank you.
I gotta ask, where'd you get the nickname, the Tarantula? Because that's pretty dope. If you ask me.
I hinted at my own nickname. I used to have an extensive collection of tarantulas. I had like over 200 at one point, and I was thinking of nicknames when I was like starting to train at the gym, and everybody kept coming up with these goofy names, and I was like, nah, I'm good. So I was like, hey, tarantula would be cool. No other fighter had it. Anderson Silva was a spider. He was one of my favorite fighters of all time, and I was like, hey, it was just fit.
Did you have 200 at the same time?
Yeah.
At the same time, you had 200.
Yep.
Did you ever lose one? Like
Plenty.
Oh, that is terrifying.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. What if one just bit you in your nose while you were asleep?
You know, I'm going to tell you a crazy story. I had one get out. It was a medically significant venomous tarantula. I lost it for like 2 weeks. Didn't know what it was. Super defensive, super aggressive species. And I looked everywhere in the house, could not find it. So I was washing my hands. I just got done using the bathroom. I was washing my hands and I was about to use the towel. And something told me to check. Like, I don't know what it was. Something just said, check behind the towel. I'll pull the towel back, and it was right there. It would have bit me.
Oh, my gosh. So I would have freaked out. I think I would have threw a punch if you asked me.
That's the one thing I can't do. Maybe we got to get a pet tarantula because spiders, snakes, actually, for the most part, just spiders and snakes are the ones that get me.
Snakes, too?
Snakes?
See,
You like snakes, too?
yeah, I just bought 3 snakes.
What type?
I bought 2 red-tailed boas and 1 leucistic ball python.
They're not venomous, are they?
No.
No? Oh, yeah, that's not that. See, a non-venomous snake, I can do. Venomous? No.
Yeah, agreed.
None. No snakes over here. Not for me.
See, I would have brought a couple. You know what I mean? If I knew that beforehand, I would have brought a tarantula, brought a snake. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my gosh.
Yeah.
If you put a tarantula on my hand, I think I would literally shake to death.
Nah.
I would literally shake to death. I swear, I promise. But whenever you pulled up here, your car even had spider webs on it. That is sick.
Thank you.
That's so
You're fully
sick.
living that nickname now.
Yeah, I got to represent.
All right, Jalin. So on this show, we do use the acronym BURN. So each letter is kind of a different time in your life. So starting with B stands for beginning. So take us back, take us to your childhood. What were kind of some of the burn moments that you had to go through?
Man, you know, for me, it's always hard to go back and reflect on anything negative because I transition my mind to have just such a positive outlook on everything that happened to me. So if I dive back to my childhood, let's say, you know, my dad ended up not being in my life and my parents got a divorce. They separated. You know, my dad left my life. And I guess you could look at that as a burn moment, you know, early on. But, you know, in hindsight, now I look at it, it just made me a better dad when I became a dad. And, you know, he ended up taking care of his wife's grandkids. And I just look at it as, you know, they needed him in their life more than I needed him in my life. So that's I always have a silver lining of everything.
Yeah. Is that when you kind of started to develop that mindset of always staying positive?
No, I started developing this mindset maybe like, another burn moment when I had my first surgery in the UFC. I had meniscus surgery. And that was the longest time I ever went without fighting. I went 11 months without fighting. Since I started my career, I didn't go more than like 3-4 months without fighting, so, or training in general. And I went through just a bunch mentally. I didn't know if I wanted to keep doing it, and I wanted to do it so badly that wasn't able to. It was just, I was really back and forth. So it kind of fortified my mind, and then I just realized that, dang, like I really love what I do. You know, I loved training. I missed it so much, and I just had to keep a positive outlook, because me coming back to it was what made transition my mind to being positive. So I just looked at it as it was my mental workout. So I was just working on my mindset and just lifting weights with my mind.
Yeah.
I made it stronger, and I couldn't do anything physically, so I had to do it mentally.
Your mind's so powerful. It's
Yes, it
crazy.
is.
When you put it in the right direction, it could make the total difference. Like me and Priest were both competitive golfers, and we've been trying to really work on our mindset. And like once you let go of the outcomes, like your abilities, you just open up a total new door for your athletic abilities.
Say you perform the best whenever you're stress-free.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
And I believe that in the golf game too. Whenever you go out there, play golf, and you're having fun, you play the best golf. But if you're all tense, you're like, man, I need to play good. I need to win this tournament. It's not the best. But did you grow up playing any other sports or?
Shoot, I grew up skateboarding. I played a little basketball, played a little football, nothing too crazy. I've never golfed though. I've done top golf, but I really want to golf. Like a lot of my friends play golf, and I always tell them, hey, take me out golfing, and then we never end up doing it.
We got a course right here.
Dude,
So we got play a few holes after?
I'm so down.
Maybe.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so injuries have obviously been a big part of your career, but even dating back to when you were in high school, you didn't even get to wrestle because of injuries. So do you feel like that whole childhood of just like bad outcome after bad outcome really like prepared you for now and today?
Dang, I never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it did. You know, it's like I never looked at it like that. That's a good one. Yeah, I broke my finger during wrestling season, and doctor said I broke it on my growth plate. I broke my hands. I broke my hand punching somebody. I broke my arm skateboarding. I broke my finger skateboarding. Like I was in and out of a cast up until my senior year of high school. So beginning of the year I'd be in the cast, end of the year I'd be in the cast. So it was crazy. Everybody called me like the cast kid, you know, the cast boy. So yeah, I don't know what. I never connected those dots. I'm gonna get back to that one.
Think about that one.
You always gotta go back to saying everything happens for a reason. So
Yeah, it really does. I don't know what the reason for those were, but
Yeah.
for sure. Would you consider like skateboarding your out from fighting? Just kind of connects you with the world.
you know, I think me being a skateboarder gave me a lot of the personality traits that I have now, because it's like you connect with so many different walks of life, and you just have freedom to roam, and you know, and you create and you do everything on your own, and you create your own style. You create an identity through skateboarding, you know, just doing what you love and what you're passionate about and letting it flow. It's like physical art, you know, which actually transitioned me into MMA, I guess, which is another physical art form. So,
Yeah.
When did you start skateboarding?
shoot, I got my first skateboard when I was like 7 years old.
Wow.
But I was just like ride around, like go off ramps with my friends, nothing crazy. And then once I started hitting like my teens, like my early mid-teens, that's when I started trying to like take it seriously. But then again, I kept getting injured, so I couldn't go too far.
Is that what you wanted to do when you were
Yeah.
a professional skateboarder?
Yeah, it was either, there was 3 things I wanted to do in life. It was either something that had to do with animals, something that had to do with skateboarding, or something that had to do with fighting.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you went the animal route, what do you think you would end up as?
Honestly, probably some kind of veterinary technician or exotic animals vet, you know. I always, if I did go to college, I probably would have studied herpetology, but like I didn't have a passion for it, and like I just didn't know where the money was in it, you know, like back then. Like I don't care now, but it just didn't call me anymore. So I love animals to death, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't call me, you know, nothing like. And then when I found fighting, it was just like so random. It was completely crazy.
Really? Well, how'd you find it?
So I started training in my backyard, you know, just thinking like, okay, like I could be good at this, you know, training with some friends. We're just like literally in the backyard sparring, just training, BSing after high school or after like class in high school and stuff. And then I was like, man, maybe I could take this seriously. Like something just clicked, and I was like, looking at videos, and I had a couch in my backyard, and I would stand it up on end, and I just use that as my punching bag. And I was like, man, like I could do this. And I ended up having a breakup with my girlfriend at the time, and I went on my Facebook to go deactivate. And I was like, I'm like over everything. And then I see this gym had a fight team tryout. And I was like, wow, it was the first thing I seen when I opened the app. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I gotta go. I was like, that's a sign. I was like, my sign from God, I'd like to go. So I went, made the team, and I've been fighting since.
Wow.
What age?
17, 18. I was 18, I believe.
Think about it if that ad doesn't pop up on your phone.
I would have never went. I would have never known about it.
That's insane.
It's back to what you say. Everything happens for a reason, and it kind of just, God kind of just guides you through every step of the way. And but going in back to fighting, when you took your first amateur fight, what was that like? Did it become real quick?
Yeah, it's actually funny because my very first fight I lost. Not many people know. Yeah, I lost my first fight. They threw me my first fight after like 3 months of training, but like I instantly fell in love with the feeling because I hadn't felt anything like that. It was an amazing experience. Like I loved being around people that cared about me after, and just going out there and trying to perform. It just felt good, Like I got out grappled. You know what I mean? Like the kid was my buddy. He's actually my friend now, Jacob Rosales. Yeah, so it was against him, and I threw a head kick. Boom! Almost put him out, and then he was like state champ wrestler and just wrestled me. Yeah, but it was an amazing experience, And I always tell people like that's another burn moment. Lost my first fight, didn't let it hinder me, and I kept at it.
Yeah, that's for sure. You see a lot of people lose their first fight and they're like, oh, I'm done with this. Especially in amateurs. You're just like, oh, I'm not good enough. But sometimes you just got to suck it up and go through
suck it up and keep going. How many amateur fights did you end up doing?
I was 6-2 in MMA, and then I did 2 Muay Thai fights. Yeah.
How's the Muay Thai fights?
Muay Thais were fun. It was fun,
Was it?
Yeah, it was cool. It was an experience. It was just, I don't know, it was just fun. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Seems so fast paced, Muay Thai.
Yeah, my first Muay Thai fight, it was just go, 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 go. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Second one, I kind of just cruised and chilled.
Uh-huh.
Like, I know what I'm doing now.
You didn't have to worry about the wrestling.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, and that was a big game changer.
Do you think you would ever do another Muay Thai fight later down the road? Or no?
No, probably not.
All right, not. Two and done.
They'd have to pay me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have any ambition to go do that. You know what I mean? Like I want to continue to enjoy fighting for the UFC and get that title, and I'll be chilling.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That's good. So now that you were professional, or you turned professional after amateur, then you got onto Dana White's Contender Series. Talk about that moment. I know it's kind of a really crappy ending, but talk about what was it like fighting on Dana White Contender Series?
Man, it was crazy because I had just started working at UPS, maybe like a couple months, like a month before that, before I got the call. And I told them like, hey, I got this opportunity for this fight, blah, blah, like, can I like if I leave, like, can I ever come back? And they were like, nah, if you leave, you're done. And I was like, all right, I gotta go. So yeah, I just knew that was my opportunity. And I knew I would be in the UFC soon after that fight. So I left that job. I won the fight, but I didn't get the contract. So, it was an amazing experience though. It's like my whole life, you just look back and see like all the risks I took and everything that, I wasn't sure, the outcome, but I have faith about it. You know what I mean? So, hey, it all turned out well.
Did you feel like quitting in the moment after what happened? Just like, you know what, like this is going to be a long road to get back here.
No, not at all. I think the only time I ever really, there's only been like 2 moments where I felt like I would quit.
Or like give up.
Yeah. And it was when I had the injury, and then it was after, I forgot who I fought. And then my coaches are looking at me like, they're like, shut up. What are you talking about? Yeah. So yeah, that was the only 2 times. I think the second time was like I think I fought Gamera, and I was like a little upset. And then like, they're like, shut up. Like, you did great. What are you talking about? I was like, Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well,
We were at that fight too, the Gamerot fight.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Heck
We
yeah.
thought you won.
Yeah.
I, thought you, I think the whole world thought you won.
I think I won too. I looked back and watched that one, and I definitely like. I got control damage. You know what I mean? Like aggression. I won on those in those categories. Like he did get the more. He got more grappling control. I'll give him that, but he didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
That's the hard part with judging in the UFC. It's like what really is the number one thing? Is it damage or is it wrestling? And I think it varies from judge to judge.
Yeah, it does.
Which is tough. But
Yeah.
it's cool to see you wrestling from your first amateur fight to getting out wrestled to arguably one of the best grapplers in the entire UFC. And you stood your ground in a fight that we both thought you really won.
Thank you. You know, and that's another thing I wanted to see too. I wanted to see where my grappling would stand against one of the elites. You know what I mean? Like, because that's literally what I have to face going up in the top 5 is just the really tough high level grapplers. You know, besides like the older dudes that are still banging it out, like, you know, Gaethje, Poirier, you know, Oliveira is a high level grappler. Beneil is, Arman, and Islam. They're super high level grapplers. You know.
Yeah, for sure. But who do you want next? I should say.
Man, I'm not big on calling people out. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna end up fighting everybody. You know what I mean? Like I just keep it respectful. Like I would like to share the octagon with Beneil Dariush. That would be fun. But you know, if it doesn't happen, I don't. You know, doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. Oh, I gotta fight this guy. I don't care.
In
know?
God's timing.
Amen. Exactly.
God's timing.
All right, Jalin, it's time to go to U and burn. It stands for unfortunate. Just like how I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, I was unfortunately and severely burned in the school science experiment by my teacher. That went horribly wrong, blew up like a bomb in my face, and I was immediately rushed to ICU where I spent a week there, had 7 surgeries with a 50% chance to survive. Because with burns, the swelling gets so bad around my neck that they were worried about my breathing stopping. And hearing that as a 13-year-old kid, you're like, whoa, you don't want to lose your life. Like, you have such a long life to live for. And whenever I was in the hospital, I was like, what's the one thing in my life that brings me joy? And it was golf. So I had my dad go get my golf putter, and I put ball after ball after ball into this little glass jar. And I truly believe if that burn moment doesn't happen in the hospital, I'm not alive. I don't have this podcast, nor am I talking to Jalin Turner, number 9 lightweight ranked fighter in the UFC. So give God credit to keeping me alive still. And
Yeah, it's hard because like we're people of faith. Like we grew up going to Christian schools, and I know you are, but like in that time, especially for me, like that's my little brother. Like as bad as it is to say, like there's so many bad people in this world. Like this is a 12-year-old kid, so pure, like still so young. So like why? But honestly, I feel like that was God like testing us and testing our faith for him. Is like, no, you have no idea what's coming for you in the next couple of years. And now we have a podcast. But for you in your life, you talked about the burn moments of all these injuries that you've faced, even since being a little kid to now. But are there any other unfortunate burn moments that you had to overcome?
I actually have to give a little credit to my sports psychiatrist, because here's something a little bit unfortunate, I would say. Before or after I fought Dan Hooker, I seen him in the hospital, and I was really like, I was just caught off guard, like with how like much damage I put on him, you know, and it made me feel bad, like, because that's when I was really like amplifying in my faith, and to see him like that, and like to think that I was like, you know, I literally went home to my family like the next day, like he had to stay in the hospital and have surgery and stuff, like it made me feel bad, you know. And talking to my psychiatrist actually helped me a lot, like mentally getting over that hurdle, you know. It's like yeah, that happened, but also like we signed up for it, you know, like that's part of our job. It's part of our job description, and like that wasn't my intention in my heart. My intention is to win by like whatever means, but also I didn't do it with any malice in my heart. So I had like a little bit of conflict feeling that. I guess that's something unfortunate, but you know, it just made me stronger. And talking to my psychiatrist helped me so much. He explains to me not to dwell in the past mentally, because that'll bring on depression, not to dwell on the future because that'll bring anxiety. And the best thing to do is to sit and stay in the present, in the moment, as much as you possibly can, doing things mindfully, working on your focus, understanding that your focus is going to be lost, but you have to pull it back as quickly as you can. That's the difference. That's the difference maker mentally with things, especially in sports. And like hearing that and talking to him for this last few months, ever since that Dan Hooker fight, I started talking to him maybe like a week later. Like my mindset has just been on a completely new level, and it feels good.
That Dan Hooker fight was the burn moment right there.
Yeah.
And looking back on your last fight, damn. It's kind of crazy because whenever that happened to me, I never once ever got mad at God that happened to me. But other people probably were like, why him? Like, he's the nicest kid ever and all this stuff, but never once. And then kind of like you just find the silver lining in all these things. I actually made a foundation out of it where I install putting greens at hospitals to give people what I didn't have the ability to do. Just go outside, get fresh air, putt.
See, and that's what I cling on to is those moments, because yes, it's unfortunate, but look at all the fortunate that happened after.
Yeah.
You know, like we're having this podcast,
sure.
we're having this conversation, like you're making foundations. Like that's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather much more give my mind attention to that than the negative that happened in order to get to that.
So what are some like things that obviously you could tell people out there, but us too? Like, how do you keep such a positive mindset? Because it's hard. There's no lie. Like you're going to go through hard stuff in life, but like what's some things that you kind of just lean on to help you stay positive?
Man, just realizing and understanding that bad things are going to happen. You're going to not always have a positive mindset. You know, it's human for us to have doubts and have negative thoughts. Like it's normal. None of us are ever going to be perfect. Like we are not Jesus Christ. So that's the only perfect being to ever walk this planet. And that's what gives me a lot of faith and positivity now, and just reassurance that I'm doing the right thing, you know? So, man, like I said, it's all is a mindset, you know?
Yeah.
You have to train it. You have to go through a lot of things. And honestly, every time I go through something negative, I'm always like, right away, I'm like, okay, something good's going to happen out of this. And it usually does, you know?
Yeah.
That's been my whole life. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I just look back in my life and I can attest to all these things because like I was explaining, like everything negative that happened had a good impact after.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if like when you recognize a pattern of your life and how God works and speaks to you, and then you have faith and you don't worry about things as much. You know, it just makes everything more easygoing and laid back.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's easy to get in your own head too.
Yeah.
Like those thoughts, and you just keep digging yourself. And that's one thing I've tried doing really recently is just trying to have a positive mindset, because you can sit there and dwell on the negatives, but what is that really going to do like for you? How's that going to help you go forward? How's that going to help you overcome your burn moment or whatever's going on in your life? And it's hard, but that's why I was so fascinated asking you, because you have such a positive mindset and you can just feel it when you come in the room. You're always smiling. You're always happy. You're always like, you just have a cool vibe and like a positive vibe. So I was really interested in that.
Honestly, there's so much more that, you know what? I'm gonna be vulnerable for this podcast for you guys. So there was so much more that happened before that fight that I really haven't talked about like publicly, and like I really don't care what people have to say. So I had some turmoil with my coaches before that fight, and one of my coaches, and I had turmoil. I wouldn't say turmoil, but you know, something personal happened with someone that I like really cared about, and you know, it kind of messed me up before the fight mentally, and you know, it was hard to deal with, and then having all that happen with my coaches simultaneously during the week, like it messed me up so much, like mentally, I really wasn't there. And I was just like in a whole another world, but I knew I had to still do my job because I've been through that before. So that experience kind of helped me previously. But yeah, one of my coaches kept kind of like pulling me away from the other one because I did like some training with him and like in another country, whatever. And you know, I just kept feeling like this push and pull, like there was no connection during my fight week. And if you're a fighter, and you know, like fight week is like sacred, like that's like holy time. Like you don't mess with that time, you know? And to go through that and feel that like at that point was just so hard. I was like, dang, like really like this happened, that happened. And when I look back at it and I watch my performance, I'm like, dang, like I'm proud of the way I performed, because if people knew the half of it, they'd be like, wow, like that throw me off mentally too, So, you know, yeah, that's what also amplified me feeling bad for Dan after too. Was all of that went on. It was so much turmoil mentally for me, and yeah, it was a big shift, and I grew so much from that. Like I grew like leaps and bounds just from going through all of that. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
You would have never guessed it watching
all.
your performance.
Right.
That speaks volume of
Yeah.
like the years and years of like how you talked about just like getting your mind right, prepared you for that fight week. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's tough. Was it like, did you have any kind of second guessing, I guess, of taking that fight while having all this outside stuff going on between your coaches?
No, because all that happened fight week. I thought everything was pretty cool, but I did feel the disconnect before the fight, but to see the actions behind it, because like usually people could put their face on and like put everything aside for you because they know like their sole purpose for you fight week is to make sure you are successful, and to go through an experience where that wasn't the case with someone that I was close to for so long, it was kind of like, it was like hard to deal with, because like, man, like we're all in this together at this point. You know what I mean? Like we all have the same objective. We're all trying to get a victory because we're all doing a job. It's a business at the end of the day too. So you got to look at it that way. It was bad business, and it hurt, because I'm a person that I can't just train with anybody or any coach or whatever. Like I'm really big on connection. Like if we don't connect, like if you don't bring good energy to me spiritually, whatever, like I can't even work with you. I don't care how good of a coach you are, so it's deeper than just surface level for me. So that was hard to deal with.
How'd you even manage to deal with all that stuff?
Man, honestly, shoot, I just had to put it all to the side, I just, I had kids to feed, I just, yeah, I don't know. I literally just went in there and just went on autopilot. I don't know, I'll glory to God for giving me strength to do that, so.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
That's amazing.
Yeah, everything that I went through previously, I guess it just prepared me for that moment. And then, yeah, what's crazy is I talked about this. So I fought Dan. Dan was getting ready to fight Bobby Green. Dan had to pull out because of injuries that I did to him. I step in and fight Bobby Green, and I get the victory. I thought that was so crazy. I thought that was like literally like just the significance of God's work, because what are the odds? I miss weight when I fight Dan. He pulls out from injuries that like I gave him that he sustained fighting me. He got my 20% of my purse. I come back, I take the fight short notice. I get a performance bonus, and I make the most money I've ever made in my career. And it's like, wow, like that was, I don't know. Like I just can only be grateful to God for all that,
Yeah.
So
It's like you said, there's always something good coming after something
always
bad that happens. But you mentioned you do have 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
A boy and a girl, right?
Boy and a girl, yeah.
How has having them in your life changed you like fighting?
Man, when I had my daughter, that's when I went on my win streak. That's when I didn't lose for a while until those 2 controversial losses.
Still haven't lost for a while.
Man, they're just, it's different when you have something that you're working towards providing for. It just added a boost for me. And I had my kids young too. Like I had my son when I was 22. So I was going through, still getting to the process of making it to the UFC, working overnight jobs. I went through so much, and yeah, they motivate me. They bring me joy, they bring me peace, they bring me happiness, they bring me chaos, they bring me a little bit of everything, you know.
It's all
Patience.
Yeah, patience, most definitely. They just made me a better man, you know. Having kids definitely made me a better man, and I appreciate them. And I've always wanted kids, you know. I'm definitely really family oriented, especially with my little ones, you know. Like I love them to death. So yeah, it's just made me better, you know. It puts a smile on my face. They're my little blessings for sure.
Do you bring them around the gym a little bit?
Yeah, all the time. So when I have them, they go with me everywhere, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want them to fight one day or no?
I don't want them to fight, but I want them to learn how to fight.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just self-defense reasons. That's
sure.
about it.
Especially the world now. You
Yeah.
gotta have some sort of mixed martial arts or anything. I guess I would say I kind of grew up doing judo, but he mostly grew up
I
doing
grew up
judo.
doing judo.
That's right.
Yeah. So my dad was actually on the Olympic team.
Oh,
So we were
word.
born in Colorado Springs, and unfortunately, he broke his leg a couple weeks before the 1996 games. Burn moment, but after that, kind of propelled their life. But again, just like self-defense and knowing how to protect yourself. Like Bree said, in this society now, it's crazy. But do they kind of have an itch for it a little bit? Like, do they like rolling around on the mats and the dummies and stuff?
Yeah, my son loves it. He definitely wants to wrestle and grapple and punch. We're always messing around. Like he loves it. Every time he sees me, he tries to like punch me. It's fun. So
Like, easy, man. Chill out.
and he punched me the other day in the stomach, and I usually can take a body shot, but he hit me really hard. I was like, dude, you're hitting hard now. I was like, wait. I was like, whoa.
You can't hit me no more.
How old is he now?
6
6.
years old.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What's their names?
Josiah and Jayana.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Jays.
The Jays.
Yep. All the same initials, JJT.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Awesome. This portion of the Burn Factory podcast is sponsored by Phoenix Salon Suites. Please visit Phoenix Salon Suites at PHENIX Salons SALON Suites SUITES.com to find one near you.
As you guys may know, I was tragically burned in a school science experiment by my teacher that gave me a 50% chance to survive. And through that, I have to wear sunscreen every day for the rest of my life. And as being a golfer, the brand I trust is Kula.
Man, look at this bottle. Kula. This just screams beaches, waves, and sun. So let's give this a smell.
The nice
man.
wind of a Tropicana breeze.
This is smelling like Hawaii, our favorite place. So next time you guys need sunscreen, go get yourself Kula. You'll thank us later. All right, Jalin, it's time to go to the next letter in Burn. It stands for R. R's ridiculous. So all these fights, all these training camps, just all these interviews, everything that you've ever done in your life, was there kind of a ridiculous burn moment that you went through? Like maybe a fan asked you some crazy question. Maybe you got some random DM. Like, was there kind of like a funny, ridiculous thing that happened to you?
A funny, ridiculous. There's been some ridiculous things for sure. I think the funniest one would probably be this lady asked me to sign her breasts. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I apologize. I'm not doing that. I can't.
Was this recently?
No, this was years ago.
Oh, years ago.
Yeah, I don't even remember how long ago that was. But yeah, I was like, no, I can't do that. Sorry. Yeah.
Did she just come up kind of randomly? It was like, Jalin. Dang,
Yeah.
not even a meet and greet or anything.
Yeah, no, just random. I think it was after I fought, actually.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was this in the UFC or way before?
This was, I think I was at King of the Cage. Yeah, this was before the UFC.
So this is
Yeah, I fought at Citizens Bank Arena in Ontario. Yep. Wow. My IE folks is funny.
Yes, the Inland Empire. That's crazy. That's kind of like straight out of a movie, though. Straight out of a movie.
Kinda.
Yeah.
that's awkward though. If you're like, were there a bunch of people there too? Or?
It was like I was like post fight like with like core people, and she's like I'm just taking pictures with a bunch of people, and then she comes up, like takes a picture of me, and she's like, oh, can you use time? And I was like, no. I think I ended up signing her arm or something. Yeah, I was like,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Any other ridiculous fans? I don't know.
No, honestly, they're usually pretty respectful and cool, you know? Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, that's good though.
Yeah, I don't think I attract
Because fans can be crazy sometimes.
Oh, definitely. I don't think I attract crazy, though. So,
That's good.
Yeah. That's good. But Jalen, I do gotta ask, what was it like making your UFC debut on one of the biggest cards in the UFC ever?
You know,
And Conor McGregor and Habib.
it was weird because when I walked out for that fight, I did not feel nerves.
Really?
Yep. I was so calm. I felt like I was gonna go spar. Yeah. It was weird. But yeah, I mean, they seen me perform on that card, and then, you know, I just kept getting put on big cards, and yeah, I'm used to it. I like the pressure. I like the lights. I'm always going to go out there and perform. I'm always going to go out there, and because my style is interesting, you know, like I'm primarily a striker, and I don't try to do anything boring. So yeah, they put me on the big shows, the big cards.
Yeah.
And you can do some jiu-jitsu too. Brown belt
Yeah.
and BJJ.
Little
The
something.
black belt coming soon?
No. I don't think so. I haven't trained in the gi in so long. I don't even remember the last time I trained in the gi. I used to hate jiu-jitsu. I almost didn't do MMA because of jiu-jitsu.
Really?
I'm such a visual learner, and jiu-jitsu was so kinetic for me, like hands-on. Like I would just get caught in like the dumbest things, and I'd be like, it's been months. How am I still getting caught in this? You know, and it's just like, yeah, it frustrated me, but I kept at it.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're a brown belt now. So do you train mostly no gi?
Yeah, mostly no gi, mostly like MMA grappling. I transitioned away from jiu-jitsu for a little bit, you know, just because certain styles of the people in my division are, you know, more wrestling based. So
Yeah.
you know, I fought jiu-jitsu guys. I don't really worry about the jiu-jitsu guys. You know, it's more about like the wrestling, the smash and pass, the ground and pound dudes that,
Yeah.
you know, so I just put my energy towards that.
So you shifted mostly towards wrestling based?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Makes sense. The whole top 6 of that division's all wrestling based.
exactly.
It's outside of like Poirier. To some
Even
degree.
really Poirier to some degree has some decent wrestling.
Yeah.
I feel like the UFC nowadays, you have to be a mixed martial artist.
Oh,
There's
you
no
have
other. It's not like striker versus BJJ. It's not wrestler versus BJJ. Like everyone is good at everything, and to be elite in this freaking company, like you gotta have everything.
Especially to be ranked too.
Yeah. And especially the lightweight division.
Gosh. I think it's the best division in the UFC.
For sure.
Has to be.
Toughest division too.
For sure.
How tough was breaking the top 10? Do you pay attention to rankings at all or no?
Yeah, now I do. Now I pay attention. You know, it's like, you know, when I fought Brad, I cracked the top 15, and then I fought. Who did I fight after? Gamrot.
Gamrot.
And then, but I just kept floating because people were like shifting in and out. And then I fought Gamrot, and then I fought Dan, and then I just fought Bobby. And Bobby, I don't know where Bobby was, but he was up there too. I think he was like 12, 13. You know, or he was, I was 12, he was 13. So, you know, and then
Now you're up at 9.
yeah, so that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you would be in this spot?
Always the goal.
Always.
Yeah, I'm still not where I want to be, but you know, just in due time.
Yeah.
I'm in no rush anymore. I used to be in a rush. Now I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Just whatever happens. Let Dana and Hunter figure it out.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'll be ready.
What do you mean you're in a rush? Just to get to the top, or like rush into the next fight, or rush into the next camp? Like what were you rushing about?
Man, like it's just like my whole like MMA career was like a rush to get to the UFC, and then when I got to the UFC, like I was still in a rush to like get to the top, have these big fights, and then when I had that injury and I had to sit my butt down, I was like, all right, I'm chilling. So I've been chilling since, because like I noticed the more time I took off and just trained and just grew, the better I would perform when I came back. You know, like look at the difference from the Dan Hooker fight to the Bobby Green fight. Like I looked so much sharper, and it's just because I got time to develop. So give me all the time to develop y'all want.
Yeah. Just let you sit down and just keep learning and learning, because you're really still a baby kind of into this.
Yeah, dude. I'll be 29 this year. That's crazy.
Wow.
29. And you started at 16, maybe?
Like
17?
18. Yeah.
When'd you
Dude,
turn pro?
Shoot. Like, maybe like 6-7 years ago.
Okay. So
Yeah.
In
I've been in
6
UFC.
years?
Yeah, I've been in the UFC like, I think this year will be my 6th year.
wow.
2018, 18, 19,
So in the same year you
6
went
years.
pro, you were in the UFC too? You got signed to the UFC or the year after?
I think like the year after.
The year after.
Yeah, so when I started this, I gave myself a 4-year goal. I was like, since I didn't go to college, I was like, this is my 4-year plan. I'm going to give this my all for 4 years, see how far I get. If I fight in a big promotion by the 4th year, then I'm on the right path. So I ended up fighting in Bellator, like right before like I hit like mid 4th year. And then I fought for them again the next year and then got into the Contender Series, you know. But once I fought for Bellator, I was like, all right, I'm here. I'm on the right path. Like, this is where I need to be. So, yeah, I kept at it.
Was the goal always to get to the UFC?
Yeah, you know, I kind of got upset with Bellator because they said they were going to sign me and they didn't. But, like, yeah, but I ended up getting to the UFC because UFC was definitely always my mindset and my goal. You know, UFC champion. So, yeah, it just all worked
And
out.
see how much the sport has grown in 6 years. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I look at the people like on the back of the division. I'm like, you guys are good, bro. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. It's crazy. Just to see everyone grow and grow and grow and grow is cool. And to see you grow and grow just from fight to fight.
Yeah, trying to.
Trying to, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, Jalin, it's time to go to the next letter. It is N. It's kind of 2 parts. It's now and next. So what are some burn moments you're kind of going through now? And what are some burn moments that you see coming in the future?
Top
Stay
5 fight next.
tuned. Oh, yeah.
Top 5 fight.
Okay, I would say top 5 either this year or later this year. And then title fight coming soon, maybe later next year, possibly. And
Later
then
25.
yeah, true, that's it. And then
That's it.
I don't know about negatives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look forward to those. I don't look at those.
Yeah.
You know, like if it happens, it happens, and we just deal with it. You know?
Yeah, for sure. You working on any projects or?
Side of the
Dude,
fight game?
I need to like venture out and spread my wings, you know, like spread my tarantula legs.
Into like what? Like
Everything.
what interests you besides skateboarding and fighting?
Skateboarding, animals, and fighting. That's all I really know, you know? So, I mean, I don't know. Anything else. Like, I just want to start monetizing outside of just fighting, you know? Like, sponsorships are cool and everything, but I really want to start building more lucrative, like, business ideas and aspects, you know, and just investments in that way. So, yeah, just continue to make the income grow and, you know, bless others.
Yeah.
For sure. Make a cool energy drink called the Tarantula.
That'd be crazy.
Or something. I was just sitting here brainstorming.
That'd be dope. Or I
Uh-huh.
mean, you have a mind for the game, so why not start like breaking down fights and going that route?
Because I'm too humble of a guy and humble of a guy. Like, I don't want to, like, I wouldn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like, I get it, we're in the fight game, but like, you know, like, I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? Like, this is not me. Like, I would love to be an analyst. I'll analyze something, but like to pick between 2 people, especially if I know one of them, like I'm already be biased at that point. So, I wouldn't say biased. I will be trying to save somebody's feelings with the words that I say.
Yeah.
You know? So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Go into more brand deals
more
and
brand.
like clothing or something. Come up with your own shoe.
Yeah, you know, something crazy. Yeah, something like that.
I see the shoes. You're in the shoes.
You know, I bought my first pair of Jordans like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, my first pair ever. I wasn't ever really big into shoes growing up. I just skateboarded. I was wearing like Lakais and Fallens and, you know, like I was never into Jordans, you know, so
Yeah.
I'm into them now.
Things change.
Definitely.
Do you skate in some SVs now? SV dunks or no?
Nah, I don't skate in
No,
those.
you don't skate in those?
Nah.
Oh.
Yeah. What do I skate in? I got a pair of DCs. I had some Fallens, but my dogs kept chewing them up for some reason. I don't know. I guess the leather in them tasted good or something. I don't know.
I've seen your dog videos on Instagram. What dog is it? What species?
Oh, dang! I don't know if I want to put that on it. I have a burn moment. I can reflect on one right now. Dang, that's intense.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So
Only if you want to share.
Hey, we're on it. We're on burn factor. So I recently parted ways with my dog. You know, he was a protection dog. I've been traveling a lot, so I didn't have like a good outlet for him. So we hadn't trained for a while. I take him with me. You know, he's in the car just cruising, and I had got done like having like dinner with my mom, and he's in the car like protecting the car. He's like barking at some people, so I like egg him on. I tell him his command, and he like starts going crazy, you know, as he's supposed to. I get in the car, you know, and he's still like kind of barking, and he snaps at me, and I got a little scar on my lip. This was recent, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I gave him to my buddy. My buddy's a professional dog trainer. It wasn't anything like, he didn't try to hurt me. You know what I mean? Like he just snapped at my face. You know, I was like, he's like super antsy, you know, he didn't know what was going on. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's just the fact that it happened. I'm like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to deal with that, you know, just because later on down the line, I would like to like branch into things like other avenues, you know, I don't know, acting, something like that. And I can't have like, you know, my face is already going to be rough enough from fighting, you know, so.
Can't have any other scars.
Yeah. And I just felt like he needed more attention too at the same time, because I've been out the house for so long, you know, so yeah, everything happens for a reason. Yeah.
It's hard to focus on training your dog, especially a dog of that species that needs a lot of attention, and then fighting and your kids and other avenues now.
Yeah.
So it all kind of worked out.
Yeah, because he was an amazing dog. Like, that dog is one of the top dogs around for sure. And, you know, it is what it is. And I think it had to happen that way, because I probably wouldn't have let him go, because he was that good of a dog.
Was he your only dog too?
No, I had his nephew. So I ended up giving his nephew back to the breeder, you know, because like I just didn't want to, you know what I mean? I just didn't want to neglect my dogs. So I love my dogs to death, you know. So, you know, I just put them in better hands that were gonna do better with them. So it is what it is. But that was a recent burn moment. That hurt. Like I dang near shed tears. Like I was like, oh my dog. Like oh yeah. I had him since he was a little puppy.
You build such an emotional connection to him. Like our little dog, we have a little Maltese, and he's like 10 pounds, but like I love that dude to death.
Yeah.
Like to see anything happen to him and stuff.
Yeah, dude. It's hard, but you know, he's taking care of my buddy's taking great care of him, sends me updates on him. Like, he's happy. Like, I'm happy for them. You know what I mean? Like, and he's gonna do more with him training wise than I could have. So, you know, like I love the dog game. I love the aspect, but yeah, it is what it is. You know, like I'm telling you, like I'm just easy going, laid back. Like, I don't, you know, no ill will towards anything.
Yeah. You're always just chilling and one foot in front of the other. But I do have to ask, because it's kind of surfacing the internet a little bit about your last fight, was the stoppage with Bobby Green. What is your thoughts on that? Was it late? Or I mean, you're in the moment, so it's hard for you to kind of hold back. But what was your thoughts on it?
It was very late. Man, like, honestly, I should have stopped. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely should have stopped sooner. But a lot of the punches were hitting his arm, you know? So I wasn't thinking anything of it. And finally, when I did land clean, that's what put him out. Like, because everything was really grazing him. Like, it looked bad, but it was really grazing his arm, you know? So when I got a couple, like, by the ear, that's when he, you know? But it could have been stopped sooner, you know? And I was just so hyped in the zone. And, like, even when I fought Brock Weaver, you know, I think Herb was my ref that fight. I dropped him. I was like, all right, he's done. Like, I knew he didn't want to fight anymore, and I walked off. And then Herb's like, no, come back. Like, the fight's continuing. Like, he let him up. I was like, all right, let him up. Let's go, you know? So from that experience is why I had that different result with Bobby. I kept the fight going until the ref told me to stop, because that's a part of my job. But also, you know, I do feel like, yeah, I should have just looked up at the ref like a little bit, like yo, bro, like,
Like, come on.
But it's, you know, we're humans, man. We're humans. We all make mistakes. We cannot be perfect, like I said earlier, and it is what it is. You know, Bobby got up. He was healthy. He was okay. Like, we talked about it. Like, we're cool. There's no,
That's good.
you know, he's not salty about anything. So that's what makes me feel good about the situation. You know? So it is what it is.
There's no bad blood.
Yeah,
Right there. That's good.
It's hard because you're just in that zone. Like, you're in that killer zone. And to be able to stop. Like you see some people stop. I'm like, dang, I don't know how you do that.
Dude, I wasn't sure. Excuse me. I wasn't sure about my shape. I knew I could go like 2 good rounds. I was like, man, if it goes to that 3rd round, and then Bobby's tough. So if he would have like came back and then like, you know, he has cardio. So I knew he was ready. He was getting ready for a 5-round fight, you know? So I was like, he has the advantage in the cardio aspect. So I was making sure like on top of that, I had to finish the fight right there if I had the opportunity too. So yeah.
What was it like taking a fight on a week's notice?
Man, it was crazy. Like I said, if I hadn't been talking to my psychiatrist and just, you know, being mentally strong and fortified, I don't know if I would have. Because honestly, I turned the fight down a couple times before they finally like got me.
Really?
To say yeah.
The same fight,
Yeah.
Bobby Green and Austin. Wow.
Yeah, I turned it down. And one morning I was like, I feel like this fight's gonna happen. Talked to my manager, and then they came back, and I was like, all right, I guess I gotta fight him. You know, 9 days, and I did it. You know, and another thing too with that, like I wanted to show the world that I can make the weight. You know what I mean? Like, because I missed weight before, and I knew everybody's like, oh, he's not gonna make it. This weight bully, blah blah blah. I was like I will make it. Like, I'm not gonna sign on the dotted line if I wasn't gonna make it. So I did, and that's what like that was my victory, like my personal victory, and then everything else was just like icing on the cake. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Didn't you make 155 too? Right?
I mean, I did 156.
Oh, you did 156.
Yeah, 156.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that would have been the nail in the coffin, and like championship weight, baby.
I know. Honestly, if I had more time, I probably could have, but they played me on the scale anyway, you know? Like, we did the pre-check, and I was 150, 155, 156, and then we go out, and then they're like 157. I was like, what? I was like, there's no way. And then we go back, and then we step on the scale. So I'm like, yo, 156 right here. Like, then they had me go back out, and I was just like, there was this MMA outlet that like posted it right away, and he left it up. Like, I seen it after the fight. He was like, Jalin Turner misses weight, no surprise here, blah, blah, blah. I was like, bro, you're so lame. I was like, bro, you could have definitely deleted this by now. Like, you're lame for that. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Is it hard to not pay attention to that stuff? Especially you and being top 10 now, you get all kinds of hate and.
You know, you pay attention to it. You know, like you notice a lot of the haters, but it's like, what good is it gonna do for me to focus on it? It's like, all right, cool, you got something to say. Like, sometimes people are cool, you know, and I'll reply something, and like I won't even throw a shot. I'll just be like, yo, like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And it'll be cool. Like, some people just want attention, and then there's some people that are just really just negative and just projecting their emotions, and I'm just like, oh, all right, I tried. I'm gonna leave you there. You got to reply, whatever, and you know, it is what it is. You know, just I don't know. I couldn't be that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and talk a bunch of trash on people. Like, I got better things to do in my time. You know, but I'm happy. So it's like, why am I gonna go project negativity when I could go project happiness? So.
Yeah.
There's this quote I heard a long time ago. I can't remember who said it, but it was like, all the haters you have, the only reason they're hating on you is because 99.9% of them would want to be you right in this second. I think that speaks a lot. It's like that saying, they hate you because they ain't you. Like, they do. And even for us, it's hard. I mean, you see people and calling him soft, and like, it's just like, dude, like, why do you feel the need to, out of your day, sit on your phone and say that comment or say that, or like, come on, dude.
You know,
it's a part of the game.
Exactly, it is. You know, it's funny. Like Sean Strickland, he always calls me soft. I'm like, bro, like, this is who I am. You know what I mean? Like, the way I look at it, it's like, I'm gonna be who I am. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for nobody. Like, there's days when I can be, you know, like, harder, like, yeah, definitely, but it's like, I'm not fake for transition, like, being somebody else. Like, I'm not being somebody else, I'm just being how I feel. So I think it's funny when people say that. It's like, people can be who they want and how they are. But like, yeah, Sean Strickland, that's my homie. He always talks crap about me for being soft and being this weird guy and all that stuff. But that's my boy though, so he's cool. He's funny. He's probably one of the most like down to earth people, but he's also like just doesn't give a F. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he's funny.
He's truthfully himself.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you go out there and train with him, don't you?
When he was out here in California, I used to train him more, but now he's out.
In Vegas.
Yeah,
In
extreme.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd go out there and train with him?
I went before the Adesanya fight, but just one time, like nothing crazy. So that was it.
Yeah.
For the most part, you just like your norm here in California.
Yeah, but I think I'm probably gonna leave California.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't
You don't
know.
say it?
Yeah, I just want to go train somewhere else. You know,
Yeah.
It's clearly out of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So family's moving out of state too. So
Yeah.
it's gonna. Yeah, a lot of transitions coming. You know?
Well, we're right behind you. We're going to Vegas too.
Yeah.
It's just like I feel like we kind of got stagnant here in California. You know.
Yeah.
Plus, it's kind of just getting too expensive out here. So
Yeah. It's like, dude, I'm good. You know?
yeah.
All right, Jalin. Well, you just felt burned in your life, so thank you so much for coming on the show. Let the audience know where they can find you: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything. Let them know.
Instagram, the Tarantula. Twitter, Jalin Turner. Facebook, Jalin Turner. I'm not really on Facebook that much, so Instagram is the best bet. And yeah, that's it.
Cool. You heard the man. Go give him some love. And as a gift for coming on the podcast, Jalin, you will be getting the Black Label Edition Burn Factory hoodie and hat. Also, you'll be getting the belt too.
The trifecta. Yes.
Go.
Yeah. So actually, only guests
Yeah.
have the
only
black
guests get
hoodie.
this.
So if you see someone wearing the black hoodie, they've been on the Burn Factory. So
That's right. Yeah,
rep
cool.
it loud, rep it proud. But that's going to do it from this episode of the Burn Factory podcast. Like always, like, comment, and subscribe at the Burn Factory podcast.
And always, please visit my foundation as well, thepriestjamesfoundation.org. Again, thepriestjamesfoundation.org to understand why we call this the Burn Factory.
And we'll see you guys for the next episode. Peace.
We're here with Jalin Turner, who just felt burn in his life, and he is now the Burn Factory podcast champion.
First of many belts he's going to have, but thank you so much, Jalin, for coming on the show. You're an inspiration to us and definitely a lot of people out there, so we appreciate you.